Now let's get to our final topic and let's talk about this RuPaul's Drag Race recap. So I don't know if y'all watch, but yeah, you know that's what I'm here for, to talk about the mess that's over there at RuPaul's Drag Race. So yeah, it was Snatch Game, you know, the annual thing that they do every season, and they had to flex the impersonation skills, and that was the main thing over there. And child, you know, whenever it comes down to Snatch Game, I'm very much like, I'm always a little bit spooked and nervous when it comes to Snatch Game, because I'll be like, are the girls going to deliver? Are they really going to give us what we need in regards to this? And we have no shade, but we haven't. Maybe there's a little bit of shade. I don't know why we always say no shade before we throw the shade, but I guess maybe we want to soften the blow. I just feel like Snatch Game has not been good in a long damn time. But I will say this. This has had to been the worst season of drag of Snatch Game since season 14. That was the one with Willow Pill, right? That one was bad. The only one that was actually came out victorious was Deja Sky. In this one, it was only two queens that actually did well. That was On Your Nerve and Lexi. I'm not Lexi. Lexi was so bad, and I don't know what the hell the judges was talking about when they were trying to talk about, oh, this was bad, but it was funny. I'm like, really? Maybe that was the edit y'all watched. But the one we was watching, I'm like, no. But I did like the self-deprecating where she was cussing and realizing that she was bombing. That part I found funny. But everything else, I'm like, what else was y'all watching? Was y'all watching a different edit than what we got to see over there on MTV? Because we was not the same in regards to the thought process. So I was not agreeing with a lot of what the judges were saying, including the queen they sent home. But we'll get into that. I gotta break it down. It was what am I talking about? It was On Your Nerve and Jewel Sparkles. They were the only two that I thought did a phenomenal job. I actually thought they should have been it should have been a double congratulations, you are the winner of this week's challenge. But wait, that's not the pitch I want to use. I'm jumping the gun. We're gonna get to Miss Jersey in a second. So yeah, so after the seasickening ball, we said goodbye to sadness after the judges basically agreed that she could have given us more with her three looks. So they did send the right person home. Ariete definitely deserved her win, especially after she was almost sent home a week prior. So now this week, as we said, they have to go and get into Snatch Game. So that was the challenge. And then the great thing about well, let's talk about Homona Lisa. So yeah, when she left, everybody was like, we love you, Ramona. I'm like, y'all being so damn fake. But then, of course, we had Miss Messy of the season, Corey, up in here talking about, like, she cackling real hard after that homeowner actually went home. But I can't wait to the day when Corey goes home. I did see somebody write in the comments over on another person's post about recapping of Drag Race, like when they was giving their overall thoughts. This was on Facebook. They were like, oh, I even know when Corey goes home. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised. This is the one season where I don't want to know all the spoilers. Like, I've known all the spoilers for the seasons past, but for some reason, because these girls are giving so much delulu in a lot of the delivery and a lot of stuff that's going, the overconfidence is sending me. But I am thoroughly entertained by the shenanigans. I want to be thoroughly surprised when I see the girls go home. Hopefully it's next week during this musical, but there might be a lot of girls in the bottom because you don't be giving, especially Lana Jarre. But we'll get into all of that. So yeah, so then all of that happened. But one of the things I did love, and let's get to that picture. Alyssa Edwards came into the workroom with Mama Ru, and she was basically giving the girl, and this was like shortly after she won that horrible damn season of, what was it called? RuPaul's Global, whatever. I don't remember. That show was terrible. But they brought in a bunch of girls from around the world in I. And Alyssa ended up winning, which, as much as I love Alyssa, that whole season felt a bit of rigor mortis to me, especially because a lot of the girls that were surviving, except for, what was it? The Italian season, I believe. RuPaul was a judge of all the other shows, that all the top girls that made it all the way to the end, Global All Stars. So it did feel a little rigor mortis in that situation. So one of the things I did like was how Alyssa was being funny, you know, Miss Tongue Pop, with her one-liners and stuff. And, you know, she's done well in Snatch Game back in the day, and there was times where she didn't do all that well. You know, we remember her Joan Crawford, Barbara, please. You know, I love, and that's one of mine that stands out. Hers more than Mariah Balenciaga's. That was a terrible one when she did that. But here's the thing. Now, when some of the girls was coming in and saying they parts or whatever, you had Lydia Butthole Collins did David Lynch. I was like, no, ma'am. First of all, I don't even know what David Lynch sound like. And he just died. But I know they filmed this last year, so the timing was whatever. She didn't know. So, but not David Lynch. I don't even know what David Lynch sound like when he talked. Although I do love his movies. But I was like, mm-mm. And why you always doing old people? Like, you do old people, but you don't do them justice. Then we had Ariette came in to do Baby Cupid. I'm like, mm-mm, please don't. And then she was trying to do the impersonation, and the look on her face, like, what am I about to get myself into? But she committed. And you know what? It's no shade, even though I think she should have been in the bottom. But Ariette, at least she committed to a character and stuck with it, even though it was terrible. In regards to on the flip side, when you had Crystal Envy, who really wasn't like putting herself out there and really pushing. And here's another thing. I need y'all to retire doing influencers and YouTubers and all these people. These people who will sit up here and they'll be like, they have personality. They ain't got no damn personality. I don't know how they got the numbers they got and make the money they make. They do not give personality in regards of what they do. So when y'all over there doing Trisha Paytas, I would rather you just impersonate Katy Perry because she was in her horrible ass Video Woman's World. And so you getting up there sitting there with big old titties thinking that's a talent, jiggling them and making little comments or whatever the case was. It was like, no, that was a chop. And so, yeah, there was a couple of them up there. Then here's the thing. I did love the fact that Anya Nerve did Eddie Murphy. And then RuPaul kept trying to push her to do Goldine White, who is actually, or Glodine, sorry, Glodine White, who is Barry White's wife, because they kind of favored each other. But it's like, I don't know that lady. That's way before her time. I grew up listening to Barry White, and I don't know who the hell Glodine is. So RuPaul was telling all of his age in that damn episode. And that's the funny thing as RuPaul's Drag Race continues to go along, that whole age gap, where it's like everybody on the show is so young. Like they're all in their 30s and younger. And RuPaul is in his 60s. So there's a 30-year age difference. So a lot of the references are going to go over a lot of their heads. Like it was my generation, where we in our late 30s, early to mid 40s, whatever the case is. We get who Barry White is and the references and stuff, which worked in the earlier seasons of Drag Race. But as y'all progress with this show, I feel like the momentum is getting lost. So that whole references and stuff is getting worse and worse. Hence is why I think it may be time for a Snatch game to sashay away and y'all invent a new game. I was like, why don't they do Drag Hollywood Squares? That would be such a fun show. Versus this mess they got over there on CBS right now with, and I love you, Drew Barrymore, as a center square, but I'm just saying, like, it would be so much more fun if we saw a bunch of drag queens up in them boxes and they were doing, Hollywood Squares and that. So, yeah, oh, and can we talk about when Ru put Corey on blast with that ugly ass orange shoe? Which I think if you look at it, you see her holding it at the table. And clocked her. I ain't never laughed so hard watching the episode when she pulled out that damn orange shoe. She was like, why do you always wear these ugly shoes with the toes out in the front? It's the same look. You offer the same silhouette with your body, but your clothes be looking a mess. The wigs are a choice, and you be looking a hot ass mess. So you be out here thinking, and then that's another one that's in Delulu land, just thinking that they be eating with the fashions. And then when we get down to it, it's like, no, ma'am. Your looks are a chop. You trying to give body, yada, yada, hooker T realness, but your drag is boring. You giving full on local girl on the, who just got finished working the boulevard tease with your look. So now when they got around to playing the Snatch game, since we're going to get to that, and let's go back to the Snatch game photo. They had Alyssa Edwards playing against a butt plug named Gay I. which I thought was kind of funny. And they had them playing a butt plug, which is kind of like some little AI assistant, central voice assistant thing, kind of like Alexa or something or another, which I thought was kind of hilarious. So then we had Acacia playing Trisha Paytas, which I told y'all I did not like. Then you had Child. Can we get into Susie too as Ellen Green? Now, I don't know if this is an ongoing theme of like this Delulu tease is contagious, but the fact that she really thought she ate during that challenge, and when Ruth said her ass was safe, the look on her face had me falling on the floor. Like, did you really think you playing a character from Little Shop of Horrors was gonna save you? And I love Little Shop of Horrors. Shout out to Rick Moranis, who was in the movie, and yeah, and Ellen Green, who was in the movie. But it was a chop. That whole performance, girl, it wasn't giving. I don't know what you thought, but no, it was a chop. And I wonder if she watched the episode and still thought in her head, I ate during that performance and I should have won. I can't wait for this damn reunion because this reunion, there's so much stuff that they need to get into, especially the drag delusion of this season. Because it seemed like majority of you hoes caught the spirit in regards to the drag delusion. The drag delusion demon was running rampant on that damn set when y'all was filming last summer. So yeah, so then we had who else we have? Oh, so then of course we had Lexi as Gilbert Godfrey, which I said like she was just bad. I mean, you just did your regular deep man voice and then kept it pushing. But as far as like y'all got to be quick with the joke. Like it's improv, which I know is hard for a lot of people. When I was acting back in the day, when I started studying acting, that was like the main thing I always gravitated towards. Like I should have been doing all these other like studying and doing all the professional study of acting thing, but I always gravitated towards improv classes. So I wound up getting stuck doing that in my 20s when I was coming up, as a kid. As I said, in my 20s. When I was doing acting, I was always doing the improv. And I had so much fun with improv because improv is about always just saying yes to everything. So it's listening and then responding to your person. And you got to be quick with it back and forth. So it's literally like playing tennis. And you got to be quick with it. So then we had Sam as pageant host, Kim Gravel. I don't even remember Sam Starr's performance with that. Lana Jarre playing Rosa Parks. Child, I can't with her. Now she was like, "Oh, I was so mad because I wanted to say, is the bus is still running?" I'm like, "Bitch, you don't even know what the bus still running mean." I mean, there's a line that I always said, like when a friend of mine says, when we talk about people who are not all the way right in the head, we always said they're out there where the buses don't run. So I believe that is basically what that reference is. Are you wrapped tight in the brain? That's basically what that is. So you thinking literally physical buzz. Sis, that's not what that reference means. It's the same thing like when somebody asks, how's your head? That is a line from Elvira. It's an oral sex joke. So a lot of people don't. So it's a lot of times y'all watch, a lot of you girls who grew up with Drag Race don't get a lot of the references from a lot of things coming up from back in the day. Me, because I'm a huge Elvira fan and I love Elvira Mistress of the Dark. Of course I knew that reference. So, and the whole buses don't run things because I always hung out with older homosexuals. So I always knew the references of certain things. So like when they say, is the bus still running? Girl, it was a mental health joke. Are you right in the head? You got all your marbles? That's what that means. So you thought that was going to be the one little joke that you was going to tell and that was going to keep you going? You was flatlining, sis. Hard and fast. But Eddie Murphy, on your nerves, Eddie Murphy, whenever it comes to the comedy, acting, improv, she excels at that. We saw that from SNL. And I love the fact that Quinta Brunson, who was the guest celebrity judge, was like, I could totally see you doing SNL. And I was like, yeah, I would love to see that too. And little did she know, she did an SNL-esque episode or challenge, we guess we can call it, a couple of weeks prior. So then, and then we had Lydia's David Lynch. Yeah, she wasn't, that wasn't giving. But Jules, Miss Big Feet was funny. I did laugh. I heard some people that was like in the comments when I was talking about this on my social media. I was like, I live for Anya Nerve or whatever. Some people was like, oh, Jules should have won. That all Anya did was put a mustache on and was just making, and that was it. I'm like, that's what you thought? Like, y'all don't watch Eddie Murphy? Y'all don't know his comedy? Like, she was definitely, she was giving it an overly effeminate. And child, do we need to bring up them old stories about Eddie Murphy and the trans girl and all that stuff? We don't want to go there. Because I do think that Eddie ain't all the way straight. But the way that Anya did play up Eddie Murphy, I was like, it was giving. It was an exaggerated version of him, but he do be having some of them feminine qualities when it comes down to Miss Murphy. Because we used to make them comments back in the day about him with the T-girls. He loved the girls with a little something extra. I mean, you seen his first wife, Nicole. She get man. Why this is kept, some people thought she actually was one. But no, she's just a home wrecker. But anyway, so off of Eddie, and now back to the story. But then it was like, first of all, I forgot who's Crystal Envy being. She was trying to do Nicole Richie. Now, first of all, Nicole Richie, I was gonna be like, that's like doing Paris Hilton, but I can't get Paris Hilton that straight because here's the thing: got Big 8 with her with her Paris Hilton, but that may have been also an advantage because she worked for Paris Hilton once upon a time. She used to, hook her up with I believe she used to do her makeup. So I totally understand, but it was like, yeah, but Gottman actually ate with her Paris Hilton. But it was just like, yeah, if you're going to do it with somebody's personality, you have to really understand how to do them and also exaggerate their personality and isms. And it was like, yeah, Nicole is whatever, but Nicole wasn't, no shade, is not as memorable as the other girl, but as Paris Hilton. Now, let's get to, so out of all of them, as I said before, Miss Big Feet was my fave, and Eddie Murphy was my fave. Those are my top two. The rest of y'all, chop, 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 chop. Even Big Ann, she wasn't given what needs to be given. She was all right, but I'm sorry. Pearl's Big Ange, in my opinion, is way more memorable than the Big Ange that we got from Miss Corey. So now let's get to the challenge, which was nailed it. And some of the girls wore nails. Some of the girls forgot their nails, and that would be Corey. Somebody she want to wear some French tips. Get out of here with that. You could have really went there with some damn nails. And that's why I was laughing, because last week, speaking of nails, Willem dragged her ass. She was like, how you going to do all of this to come hithering and all the other stuff? And you got no damn nails in your fingers. Like, if you're going to be doing all of that, girl, you got to make sure everything is top notch, especially because this is season 17 of Drag Race. Ain't no half stepping. Y'all cannot be showing up on this show and you giving like you just started drag yesterday. If you're going to get up there and you start doing all this with your, this is my nails. Clock the nails. I was gonna say this is my nails. I don't wear wigs, but that's not the line. This is my hair. I don't wear wigs. It's like if you're not gonna wear nails, you're not doing drag. That's the line. Shout out to Alaska, who came up with both lines actually. It's like if you're not doing nails, you're not doing drag. It's like yes. Where is the nails? You like my nail? You don't like doing nail? Yeah, where them nails at, bitch? You should have some nails on, but you doing a come hither. It's like, girl, you even have polish on them damn nails. At least polish the damn fingers before you try to do all of this. What you seducing? Not I, said the cat. Now after the runway, because there was some lovely looks. We was living for the looks in regards to the girls. I was here for some of the looks. Definitely was living for this look here. It was giving plastic surgery tease. Ariette's was cute, but Ariette, I feel like, did not really stand out this week. She was trying to do the multiple hand thing. I was, it's all right. I definitely love Lydia. Was that Lydia Butthole Collins down here? I did. No, Lydia is here. Susie Toot, I was living for this. It was giving very much Hellraiser with this. I did love Anya Nerve because Anya Nerve was giving Hood Banji Girl from Atlanta with the look. And it's after the runway, Rue called Acacia, Susie, Corey, and Lydia forward and tells them they're safe. Which, of course, Susie had the full-on cracked face of the season, which I told y'all earlier I gagged and cackled on because it was hilarious how her ego was immediately bruised. So the rest of the queens on the stage were the tops of the bottom. So the critiques actually started with Lexi. The judges loved her Cher-inspired runway, which I have to say I was living for. But then Michelle brought up that she flopped in the Snatch game, but she flopped funny. There was moments where she was pretty funny because she realized she was flopping. I love the self-awareness. However, I don't know what the hell y'all was watching because Lexi was not flopping funny. I just didn't understand that whole assessment regarding that. And saying that her being in on it actually worked to her advantage, which I was saying, the self-awareness. That's what made it funny. However, her sustaining that, it did kind of, in my opinion, it fell off relatively quickly. Now, Quinta basically said that she liked Sam Starr's plastic surgery outfit. And even though she didn't know who her Snatch Game character was, she did a great job at entertaining, at being entertaining during, the challenge. And Michelle basically said that she gives her the most points for being prepared, but her impersonation was too polished. And they basically want her to get uncomfortable and sort of, you know, down and dirty. But wait a minute, don't we want our girls to be well versed on the people that they're playing? But I guess maybe what she's saying, it's too polished and she wants you to like relax and have a little fun, that you're a little too prepared. And it's like, is that a bad thing? But I guess maybe she felt that she wasn't that memorable with her performance. Because it's like, yeah, you can be prepared, but you also got to let go. Let loose. I said, let her loose. In the words of, a certain queen. So now Quinta also said that she loved Lana's runway, but here's the thing. Whenever it comes to lingerie, Lana will always eat on a runway. She will always give you model for days. She won't give you titties. She won't give you full-fledged female. She'll still give you rib cage, flat chest, boy in a wig, which I cackle over when she did her lip sync against Crystal Envy and her damn wig came off. But she put it on real quick though. She slid it right back on. But it's like, girl, where's the glue? Where is the glue? So to get back to it, she said that her Snatch game was pretty rough, and it actually was. But with Crystal She-Wolf runway look was fun. But yeah, her drag was, her performance was rough. And also, yeah, her Snatch game, we're talking about now, Lana Jarrett, it did fall flat. And you could have went anywhere with Rosa Parks. Like, we don't know what Rosa Parks sound like. I ain't never heard that lady voice. But you could have went anywhere with her. You could have gave her shit. You could have gave her a British damn accent. We would have laughed. But you played her up a little too seriously. And I was like, I don't know what Rosa Parks sound like. I mean, shit, if I was doing Rosa Parks, I would just impersonating my grandmother. I'd have made her a shady old Southern woman. So, and of course, they and then what else they say? Because I got notes. I have to take notes when I do this show. So yeah, Ross basically said that he loved Jewel's look, and Quinta loved her Miss Big Feet character, and appreciate that she said yes to everything, because I always tell you, you got to find the yes, and especially when it comes to improv. You always show up, you always answer, you always go with the flow. When you think you might be going somewhere, it goes every which way, because improv is not scripted. It's unpredictable. So you have to go where the wind blows. And yes, say yes. Find the yes, as we always say in acting. So then Ross also said that Ariete didn't go anywhere with her baby Cupid, and it wasn't good. That's what I was saying, because I was like, even when we saw her impersonating and giving Rue, I was like, what? No. Girl, no. But same thing I've been saying about Lana Jarrett, same thing I'm gonna say about Ariete. Pretty girls, delivers on the fashions, but the personality, y'all need to go find one and buy one, because y'all just don't have that. Being pretty is not enough. Being a fashion girl is not enough. You have to show your charisma, your uniqueness, your nerve, and your talent. You can't just, excuse me, just be up here thinking, oh, I'm gonna serve y'all $200,000 worth of runway looks or more, and think that's gonna be a serve, and that's gonna be enough to get you by. Because if you can't continue to bring it like needs to be brought, you will end up sashaying away fairly soon. And I do feel like Ariete might be given a couple of more chances, but I do feel like if Lana Jarrett ends up in the bottom next week for this Rusical, because that's what's coming, she may be sashaying away. Because I don't see her as the Georges of the season, where you end up in the bottom so many times that you end up being the lip sync assassin and sending all the girls home. Because your lip syncs have been mid at best for 2 weeks straight. We're gonna get into her lip sync in a second. Because like I said last week, this should have been a double sachet. Same thing I feel. Although I don't, well, we'll get into it because I feel like I don't want to jump the boom boom gun just yet. So now Anya Nerve wound up winning the challenge. Lexi, Jules, Sam, and Arietti were all safe. So basically, Lana and Crystal both ended up were up for elimination, which I don't agree with. And here's the thing: this is the second week in a row y'all picked a shitty ass song for them to lip sync to. You did it with Olivia Rodrigo the week prior, and then you had "Hands to Myself" by Selena Gomez. Why of all the songs in the world y'all picked that? And I like Selena Gomez, but she ain't no. Is there a song that she has that you, well, actually, if you're ready, come and get it. Now that's a song you can lip sync to because it exudes sex. It's sultry. Like I could shake my shimmy and get all sultry with the people in there and grab my little dollars as I'm doing that song. So I could lip sync to that song. But Hands to Myself? No, no, no. Did y'all spend all the budget on Katy Perry? Because I'm like, no, ma'am. That was just a chop to me. And now with this lip sync, the people were saying that Crystal got sent home because she got physical. Not Mimi on first physical, but she got physical with Lana Del Rey during some of the stuff. And she did address it. And we're going to get into that because I'm going to combine both stories. So she explained it all. And she even revealed who she thought should have been in the bottom instead of her. So this is Lana's second week being in the bottom because, as I told you, it was like last week when she went up against Sadness and sent Sadness home. Although I thought both of their performances was mid, and in this one, it was mid too. It's like Lana's energy has been very lackluster. She doesn't get what needs to be given. It's like, I love you, Lux, but girl, you may have to put this child up for adoption because she is not doing you justice on this damn show, especially being the child of you. And that's why I call this season of Drag Race the Nepo. I mean, not the Nepo. Well, it's a Nepo baby season, but it's also given the substance. Like if someone's a descendant of somebody who was previously on the show, or drag aesthetic wise is a descendant of somebody who once existed, but for the most part is a lot of siblings or child of someone who's already been on the show. So yeah, so Lana did what she did, but I just felt like her performance was lackluster. Crystal matched the energy. It was Lana wound up staying, and then Crystal sashayed away. So now we have next week is a musical with a wicked twist with Adam Lambert is going to be the guest judge. And I wonder if this is the one. Well, I don't know how many musicals they have this season, but Leland said when he was recently on a red carpet, I think it was at the Grammys where he was with Troye Sivan, he was like, I had to do it remotely. Like I wasn't able to be there because I was off, I guess. He was touring with Troy at the time when they were filming Drag Race, but he did write the musical for the show. And he said this is like his favorite one he's come up with so far. So I'm actually looking forward to it. And especially because Corey King is about to get into it with Jules Sparkles, and I was like, Jules, you better read her down to the floor. Don't let that girl intimidate you. Because I have the body. I was like, girl, that's all you have. Because you ain't been bringing nothing else besides, linebacker body tees. Like you giving full on bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. Minus, but you ain't a Neanderthal looking like with, Marjorie Taylor Greene literally looks like the first indoctrination of man. Like how man first looked before we evolved. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like. And you giving that with your body. So you can't just be a body queen and a look queen and think that's going to be enough. So I really hope she fight her to the death because I ain't giving up that part. But anyway, to wrap this all up, because I want to get into Crystal Envy and what she had to say in regards to this whole situation. So, wait, I'm gonna just combine all of it together. So just the whole recap thing. So yeah, so she basically was upset over the fact that she ended up being eliminated, which I think pissed off a lot of the fans. The fans were shocked that Crystal Envy was sent home. I'm like, what? Even I didn't agree with that. But she has spoken out. So she addressed the shocking exit because she recently did an interview with Entertainment Weekly and expressed her thoughts on her elimination not being justifiable and named the queen she felt should have been in the bottom instead of her, saying, "It didn't feel like my time to go home. I did well every week. didn't land low once, and as soon as I'm in the bottom two, eliminated. I had a steady trajectory up the cliff, and then I just fell right off, she reflected, adding that it was shocking and heartbreaking for her journey to end so soon. Saying, I'm a self-aware person. If I was doing bad, I'd be like, okay, this is my time. It's hard to accept the fate when you're kind of killing it. Now, in the previous 6 episodes, Crystal has cemented herself as a possible contender for the crown, having been in the top two once and scored a high placement twice. So then she said, at the end of the day, I'm so happy for my experience because I did really well. I was in the top almost every week I was there. I can't be mad at that. However, I think my time was extremely cut short. One little mishap and you're sent packing out the door. Now, Crystal went on to state that her elimination wasn't particularly justifiable and she shouldn't have been lip syncing to stay at all. Now, naming fellow competitors Ariete and Lydia Butthole Collins as Snatch Game performers she didn't live for, she said, I do think other girls were kind of dry. Now, she said, I love Lexi Love, but I don't know how it was so bad that it became good, referencing her seasoned sister's impersonation of late comedian Gilbert Gottfried, which was dubbed by the judges as such a flop, it became funny again. Well, if that was the point, then why didn't she end up in the top? But it was like, yeah, it was hella confusing in regards of that whole situation. Now, following her lip sync against Lana Jarre, Crystal Envy also caught some heat online with some of the show's more toxic fans attacking her for some of the slip-ups that occurred during this performance. Now, at one point, Crystal was seen sliding under Lana's legs when her competitor stepped over her, while another moment shows Crystal accidentally bumping into Lana. And people need to also notice that a lot of it has to do with editing. So, however certain things turn out, the editors have to fulfill a certain narrative, which is why I think a lot of people do get online and start with this. I'm like, have y'all never seen like a drag battle or whatever? It's like the girls do, it get a little rough. And there's no shade, it's just competition. Now, responding to the furor online, Crystal wrote on Twitter, I'm sorry, but anyone saying I got handsy with Lana in our lip sync is delusional. Lana stood in front of me first, so I found my light by crawling under her legs, a playful moment. Now, she continued, the second time I accidentally bumped her, not knowing she was right next to me. Thank you. Next, to insinuate I would get physical with my sisters is crazy, girl. And then there was somebody who jumped in the comments. Let me see if I could find that. So Maya Iman LePage, who y'all know, Queen of Flips, who was on the show last season and turned out to be the lip sync assassin when she was sending, was it last season? I'm trying to remember. Wait, hold on. She basically spoke out and came to Crystal's defense by saying, girl, fuck them. Just how they got mad when I threw my train on morphine. They don't understand fun shade. So, yeah, it's because she was like, when it comes to, and you know how some of y'all get when it comes to in certain performances and y'all have a fave and y'all want to go in and throw shade at them for certain situations. So, yeah, that's what she basically spoke about, and she gave her side of the story, and now we have it. So yeah, so that's all I gotta say on that. I know this is probably a long one, but you know, when it comes to Drag Race and the recaps, it is what it is. There's always a lot that we got to break down in regards to the situation. So I definitely want to hear from you. What did you guys think of this latest episode of Drag Race and Snatch Game? Do you agree with my assessments? You don't necessarily have to agree. Like, I don't want everybody on here just agreeing with every damn thing I say, because otherwise there's no room for debate. But I definitely want to hear from y'all, excuse me, in regards to what y'all thought of this week's episode of Snatch Game. Do y'all think it's time for Snatch Game as a challenge to sashay away forever and they come up with a new game and reinvent the wheel? Because when it comes down to Snatch Game, yes, it's an annual thing that the queens know is coming every season, but it's just like a lot of y'all, it just be messy and y'all don't be delivering. But maybe the reason why they do keep Drag Race is because they know it's so bad that it gives plenty of room for the judges to be critical of how bad a lot of these performances are. So if things turn out to be great or perfect, what would they have to judge, right? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.